Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story is presented by Illicit Deeds, and I'm going to say thank you to my friend for giving me this story and picking up on these details because she knows that we advocate for children first, and I'm definitely glad that this story was featured on illicitdeeds.com as well as on Facebook. This particular story is coming out of North Carolina, and I'm going to probably say some things that might offend you, but before we get there, what I need you guys to do is understand that you might find my content controversial or offensive. The information is coming from credible sources. This video commentary contains my personal opinion about the facts of this story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these going forward. I advise you, viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. So, getting past the technical difficulties, we want to talk about these people that you see on my screen. Beautiful baby boy right there, but his parents have got to be, or maybe not say parents, his caretakers, because they don't act or behave like parents. But this individual over here who looks like somebody took her head, I got to show y'all this. Let me blow this up. Maybe this is why they were trying to prevent the stream from working. I got to show you guys a close-up. You've got to see this. I want you guys to take a look at this right here. And I don't know why this woman's head looks like somebody turned her upside down and put her head inside of a toilet. But I want you guys to take a look at this. Like, I don't know what the hell is that on her head. Is that algae growing out the side of her head? I don't know. But it's absolutely disgusting. But what she did was even more disgusting, okay? You said we're buffering again? Why though? Why is it doing this? That's what I don't understand is why. This is such a weird problem to have. Can you guys still hear me? Download speed is good, but upload speed isn't. Like, what the hell? No, we're not buffering. Refresh. No, I can see it's actually dropping out. I can see I can see it on my end. It actually was buffering. I'm sorry about that. It's definitely buffering on my end. Like, my download speed is good, but upload speed is not. That is absolutely pissing me off. Like, why is it doing this? And I don't know how to fix it. I don't have nothing else open. Anyway, let's keep going and let's just pray that this gets better. I don't know. That is horrible. Okay, I don't know. But let's keep going, man. This is such a weird problem to have. But anyway, these are the two individuals. A North Carolina man with a prior record is charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse, and the man's girlfriend, who is the child's mother, I repeat, is the child's mother, also is charged with felony child abuse in connection with the case of a nearly one-year-old infant who was found unresponsive in where else? In a bathtub. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised to hear that because it's funny how we have so many of our stories that deal with child abuse, and somehow there's always a child in a bathtub and dead children tied in with each other. I don't really know how that works, but nonetheless, so let's keep going. They found him unresponsive in a bathtub on Sunday morning at a residence in Little Raleigh, in the Little Raleigh area. I hope I said that correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. Police said in documents. 30-year-old Marcus Richardson, let me get his face up on the screen, which is mom's boyfriend. This cue ball head son of a gun right here is jailed with no bond. So he got the harsher penalty here so far in Nash County Detention Center. And 27-year-old predator AKA, let me see if I can get her face up here on the screen. Right here. My goodness. That is a bad looking woman. Her name is Sierra Ellie, Eley, and she is 27 years old. 27 years old. That is a hard 27 years old. I don't know why she looked like she a good 47, but she is jailed under a $250,000 secured bond in the detention center. Police spokesman Corporal Ricky Jackson said Sunday night in a news release. Now, according to Jackson, an interview determined that the child by the name of 1-year-old Romy Tyler III, Romie, Tyler, Tyler III. This beautiful baby that you guys see on my screen. And I don't understand how you can have not only one individual, but two individuals. So with them saying that the mom is his biological mom and boyfriend is probably not his biological father. And I continue to keep trying to tell people that it's a dangerous thing to date people that don't share the DNA resemblance. They don't share that DNA tie with these children, because what these men see, and we can flip that on the other side as far as the women, but in this case, what these men see is the last man that this woman was with, because these children usually end up looking like the other side, look like the dad. So I'm pretty sure that little boy looks exactly like his biological father. So this man being jealous of that and him having the harsher charge, I'm going to assume that he murdered the child, beat the child up, while mom knew about it and let it happen. Not only that, but we got a little bit more to tell as far as his background. Again, I want y'all to remember that term, background checks, okay? Now, there's an autopsy that's going to be conducted on the cause of death. Now, according to a copy of the audio of Nash County emergency radio traffic obtained by the Telegram, the dispatcher at 9:08 a.m. on Sunday advised units to respond to a cardiac arrest on the 600 block of Paul Street. Subsequent radio traffic said that a 1-year-old male had fallen in a bathtub and was unconscious and not breathing. How many times have we told that exact same story? They don't know what happened. Somehow this child magically slipped and fell in a tub, killed himself, drowned, did a double backflip off of the countertop and hit the tub, fell in, and the parents didn't know anything about it. They heard a thud. But that's how often we hear these BS stories that are just flat out not true. They're lying on the children, trying to blame the death on these children, but we're going to find out that it was blunt force trauma. I'm telling y'all that. That's what I truly believe when that autopsy report comes back. So I'm very, very confident in that. All right, let's keep going. Officers responded. Let me get back here. Lose my place. Give me just a second. I'm having all kind of internet issues over here. Y'all bear with me. All right, here we go. Now, according to a copy of the audio of Nash County emergency radio traffic. Oh, okay, I read that part. So he was unresponsive and not breathing. Officers responded to call to assist emergency medical services personnel. Emergency medical services personnel transported the child to Nash UNC Healthcare, and despite exhaustive life-saving efforts, the child was pronounced dead. Now, according to arrest warrants as part of the Nash County District Court records, Richardson, the boyfriend, was supervising the child, who was found to have lacerations and bruising. Again, in my humble opinion, I believe that to be that he beat the child up, because that's usually what happens in these situations. Richardson and Ellie appeared in court on Monday and are due back in court before or on October the 6th, according to records. State law specifies first-degree murder occurs when someone commits a killing that was thought out or planned beforehand. Premeditated. State law specifies felony child abuse occurs when a parent or any other person is providing care to or supervision of a child less than 16 years of age intentionally inflicts any serious physical injury upon or to the child, or intentionally commits an assault upon the child resulting in any serious physical injury to the child. That is felony child abuse, which is what the mom is getting charged with. State public safety records show Richardson has been through the judicial system before in Nash County. So check this out. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Can we get that hashtag in the chat? Hashtag date thugs, you date death. Now, according to records, and this is according to illicitdeeds.com, Richardson was convicted on July the 20th for attempted possession of a firearm by a felon. Let me explain what that means. That means that he was attempting or had possession of a gun while being a felon, which means in order for him to be a felon, he had already broken the law and more than likely probably did prison time as he had a felony. Previous history, yes, thank you. Nash County Superior Court records said Judge Quentin Sumner sentenced Richardson to a minimum of 8 months and a maximum of 1 year and 7 months with credit for 1 day having served in jail while awaiting the outcome of the case. And the record said Sumner suspended the sentence and placed Richardson on supervised probation for 2 years. The records also say that Richardson had to pay almost $1,700 in judicial system related costs. The outcome of that case resulted from Richardson and the district attorney's office having reached a plea agreement in which the prosecution would withdraw the original charge of possession of a firearm by a felon. Richardson was also, in addition to, was convicted in 2017 for delivering and selling illegal drugs and maintaining a place for the purpose of a controlled substance, the state public safety records said. And mom will probably claim that she didn't know anything about this, but she just will leave her child in the hands of a man that she didn't do a background check on. So how much do you love your children if you're not willing to at least do your due diligence and find out who you're putting your children around? You could grab some homeless person off the street, put your child in their possession, and they'd probably be better off in the hands of them rather than some of these boyfriends. Let me know when I say something that is not correct. And that's sad to say. You could put your child in the hands of a stranger and they'll probably be in better hands than somebody you are actively having sex with. So that means that you care more about your personal pleasures as a mother than you do about your own child who you allegedly claim to love. And that's the biological father of that baby. And I think he actually released a statement as well, but I'm sure he is beyond pissed off about this situation. But shout out to the dad. We definitely want to send our thoughts and prayers with him. Richardson had a listed address of 8900, had listed an address in the 8900 block of Taylorwood Circle, and Ellie had listed an address of the 600 block of Paul. Major Eddie Moore of the Nash County Sheriff's Office said. That gets me a little tongue-tied there. But again, hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. I'm getting almost numb to saying it. But let me give you guys the fair usage. Got a couple of news videos. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Rocky Mount police have charged a man with first-degree murder in connection with the death of a child. Officers were called to Paul Street around 9 o'clock this morning to help EMS. They were responding to a report of a 1-year-old found unresponsive in a bathtub. Paramedics rushed Romy Tyler to the hospital where the child was pronounced dead. Police say the child has substantial bodily injuries. 30-year-old Marcus Richardson is being held in the Nash County Detention Center without bond. The boy's mother, Sierra Ellie, has been charged with felony child abuse.
Nash County couple faces charges in the death of a 1-year-old.
Rocky Mount police officers responded to Paul Street about 9 o'clock yesterday morning to help EMS with a report of a 1-year-old who was found unresponsive in a bathtub. Well, paramedics rushed Romy Tyler to the hospital where the child was pronounced dead. Police say that the child had substantial injuries to his body. The boy's mom, Sierra Ely, is charged with felony child abuse. Marcus Richardson, who is Ely's boyfriend, is charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse as well.
Now to breaking news, a Rocky Mount mother and her boyfriend making their first court appearance after being charged in the death of a 1-year-old. Police found the infant injured and unresponsive in a bathtub yesterday morning at a home on Paul Street. That baby was taken to the hospital and later died. Anthony Wilson joins us live with the breaking details. Anthony?
Well, John, the mother was seen very close to tears. She responded in a small, trembling voice to the judge's questions during her appearance in court. The boyfriend showed little emotion, but the community very shocked about news of that baby's death.
That's Marcus Richardson. Charges he's facing include first-degree murder and felony child abuse. The alleged victim, 23-month-old Romy Tyler. Next-door neighbor Susan Drake remembers seeing the child just days before his death.
He was out there, and he was sitting down with I think it was his mother sitting on the porch, and the little dog they got over there, and I waved to him, and he kind of waved back.
That's why she and others are shocked by news of the child's death. The weekend police activity around this house made neighbors curious. Information, unconfirmed, spread quickly.
They just found out that he got hurt in the tub or fell in the tub and got hurt. When I came out, the man that lives there, he was coming out the door.
Jeff, it was difficult to hear just about 2 hours ago in this courthouse. We heard from updated arrest warrants for both Sierra Ely, the mother, and Marcus Richardson, the boyfriend. In those warrants, investigators say they found Ely's son, Romy Tyler III, with lacerations and bruising all over his body. Both the mother and the boyfriend made their first appearances in Nash County Court today, starting with 30-year-old Marcus Richardson. Richardson is charged with first-degree murder in the child's death. The warrant says he was supervising the 1-year-old at the home at 619 Paul Street yesterday morning. At the time, he became unresponsive. Police were called to that house saying that the child was unresponsive in the bathtub. They arrived and rushed the boy to UNC Nash Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Last night, police said they found serious bodily injury to that child, and they arrested Ely and Richardson. The judge told Richardson he could face the death penalty or life in prison for this situation, and Richardson asked for a court-appointed lawyer. Then came the mother, 27-year-old Sierra Ely. The judge told her she could face up to 16 years in prison if convicted of felony child abuse. Ely broke down in emotion while being questioned. You could see here she was shaking with the feeling of this situation, telling the judge this was her first ever criminal charge.
Okay, I need to pause it right there. Let's pause it right there. First and foremost, what is she crying for? I want you guys to remember that these people, when they hurt, murder, and abuse children, are not crying for the children that they hurt, murdered, abused, or neglected. What they're crying for, what she's sobbing for, and what she's shaking for is because not only is she going to be facing consequences for the part that she played in this situation, but because she's feeling sorry for herself. Thank you. Somebody in the chat said it. That's for herself. That's not even for her child, and that's the sad part about it. And then on top of that, she said this is her first criminal offense. This is your first criminal offense. Even though you were dating, and sleeping with a criminal. A felon, a person that don't like to follow the law, and clearly a person that likes to abuse children, and that's who you chose over your son, right? Your first criminal offense is your dead son. Somebody asks, is that little Wayne? Oh my goodness. Somebody asked, is that young Moolah baby on the screen? What is wrong with y'all? Oh my goodness. I can see why you might say that. I mean, that is an incredibly just, I don't know. Like somebody like set off a glitter bomb on the top of her head. Like she was on an episode of Nickelodeon and they slimed her and she just left it in her head. I don't really know what you call that. But again, I want you to remember that her first criminal offense is her dead legacy. The child that she made with the son's father, that child is now going to be put in the ground and they're going to be having a funeral. And somebody is more than likely going to be putting up a freaking GoFundMe because nobody thinks it's important to have life insurance on anybody at any point. They don't believe in having it on children. I guess it's wrong to say that you should have life insurance on newborn babies because you're not expecting them to ever die, I guess. And then I guess when you get in your 20s and 30s, it's okay to not have life insurance. You get in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you still don't have it. And then by that point, people say, well, your death was tragic. And then they do that. They play the world's smallest violin, right? Then they pluck on your heartstrings in hopes of the general public funding your burial when the family circle actually should be the ones taking care of that type of stuff, right? Yes? Okay.
In prison for this situation, and Richardson asked for a court-appointed lawyer. Then came the mother, 27-year-old Sierra Ely. The judge told her she could face up to 16 years in prison if convicted of felony child abuse. Ely broke down in emotion while being questioned. You could see here she was shaking with the feeling of this situation, telling the judge this was her first ever criminal charge. Ely also asked for a court-appointed attorney. Now, both of them are going to remain in the jail for at this point. Richardson does not have the opportunity for bond because he's facing a first-degree murder charge, and Ely with a $250,000 secured bond. They're due next in court on October 6th for a probable cause hearing. At that point, we will hear from prosecutors for the first time seeing the evidence against both of them. Jeff?
Certainly disturbing evidence. Keenan Willard live for us in Rocky Mount. Keenan, thank you. We are also working to learn.
You know what? And guys, let me say this. In closing, bring this video down. I think that's disturbing, the fact that her mindset is, this is my first offense as opposed to my child is dead. And I think it's kind of one of those things where if you really cared about your child, you should be willing to accept whatever consequences come with that. Let me explain exactly as a father, and shout out to my daughter's mother, but what my child means to me. It is my duty and it is my responsibility to make sure that my daughter's protected and to make sure that she has every opportunity to grow up and become something great. Even if it costs me my life. That's what it means to be a parent, is for us to put ourselves in harm's way to protect our children. Not for us to put our children in harm's way for us to get some type of personal pleasures from the little thug bugs that we like to sleep with. Everybody catch my drift? Hopefully everybody understands exactly where I'm coming from. I think this mother not only is a bad mother, and I'm definitely sorry, and I wish that the biological father, if she didn't care about her child to this extent, she could have just given up custody. Just let the dad have him. Let me show y'all a picture of the dad again. Let me back this up. Let me get it off of this egghead forehead dude right here. Let me back this up just for a moment. The dad, biological father right here. happy to be with his son, happy to raise his son. You give him an opportunity, and he would have gladly have said, yes, I will raise him, and I don't even need your help doing it. You know why the mom, instead of taking her child out of a harmful situation and a dangerous situation and didn't just give it to the dad? Oh, that's right. Because she wanted to keep the leverage. We're going to have to throw that in there when we talk about hashtag babies for benefits. If y'all could type that in the chat. Babies for benefits is a thing that too many of these custodial parents, we're not going to even say women. Let's just say custodial parents, which more times than none is going to be the mothers, not the fathers. But just to make some of these mothers out there, not the AFC, I know y'all are good people, but some of these other people that don't understand our message and what we're here to do and why people still get mad at me, we'll just say the custodial parents. They want to continue to collect benefits off of these children, whether that be Section 8, food stamps, child support, housing, car vouchers. And I don't know why y'all are so shocked if you've been watching my channel for any length of time when y'all say, oh, damn, Just Jay, they give out car vouchers for single mothers? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. Not in every state, not in every situation, but that is something you can Google. It is a benefit. Even if you just wanted to have something over the man's head, a lot of times mothers like to keep the custody of the child just for those purposes, knowing that their life might be a little more free and a little more clear, and the child actually would be in better hands with a better parent if you would just give up custody. But again, that's what the selfishness does, that self-loathing her, holding herself and crying and shaking in court and all of that. That's because she's feeling sorry for herself when she didn't even feel sorry for her own child. To the biological father and to that baby boy, RIP, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to you. I hope both of them get the maximum sentence allowed in court, and I think where it stands, him getting life in prison and her getting potentially 17 years, I think that's suitable. And I think we can accept that as a punishment. But again, we tell these stories in hopes that somebody out there who's listening, it's the hard-headed buttholes, the hard-headed jerks, the hard-headed custodial parents that we're trying to reach out there while continue to keep doing these videos, trying to reach them and get them to understand, put your children first. Stop ending up in these situations like this. Thank you guys for listening with an open mind. Hopefully with an open heart. There's no reason to get mad at me. Stop leaving me mean comments. Stop talking about, well, you talking about that woman's looks and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry. In my personal opinion, people that hurt, murder, and abuse children are not people. Do I need to say that again? People who hurt, murder, and abuse children are not people. Okay? So stop getting mad about me talking about these fools. I think I actually need to clip that out. I think I need to clip that out and post that to the to my TikTok page. I like that. People who hurt, murder, and abuse children are not people. And that's a fact. They're not humans, they're devils. And I think y'all are saying that the internet is clear, but man, it is jacked up on my side over here, and I don't even know why. This is horrible. Maybe I need to, you know what? Maybe I'm going to watch it over here. Maybe I'm going to watch it over here. It looks a little bit better over here. I think we actually might be okay. So it looks like the megabits over here on this side is okay. So I think we'll be okay. I'll watch it from here, but I'm going to try to keep an eye on this. So whenever it buffers or anything like that, if we have some issues, y'all can type it in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on it. Are y'all ready to move on to story number 2? So let me go ahead, and I wish they had it to where I could take these pictures out the way I used to do it before. It was a whole lot easier, but We have to kind of roll with the new way of doing things. Let me go ahead and get our second story up here, which is, okay, let me tell you guys this. I know it's late at night. I think some of y'all should have already have had dinner. So this is kind of like y'all closing time. Closing time. That time of the night. So I'm hoping that y'all are not eating. So I'm going to forewarn you. If you are consuming food, you might want to either pause the video, come back, or brace yourself for the details that are going to be in this next story. Because the condition of this home, the condition of this pigsty, this baby playpen prison is going to be pretty nasty. Just the details are disgusting. I'm going to try to read through it as quickly as I possibly can before I lose my stomach. Okay? So if y'all got any sandwiches or burritos or you got you a plate of food, I'm warning you now. This might be the time to either pause the video or brace yourself. Okay? I need to thank a couple of people real quick. Oh, thank you, Kim. Kim, if you're listening, I wanted to say thank you. I think she's still in there. What's up, Keyshawn? I see she's in the building. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. So Kim, if you're out there listening, I just got that. I want to say thank you. Who is this? Okay. All right, I got you. Lee Hellinger. Lee Hellinger, if you are in the chat, you can let her know. I'll let you welcome her. I'm going to leave that up to you. There you go. So the next time you type in the chat, you should see that your status has changed, okay? But that is by way of Lee Hellinger. So much love, much love. Also, let me say thank you for those who were able to contribute. You guys know I have a Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo if you want to show some love. What's going on? Lockdown, Ashley, Noetic, Katie, KB, Stephanie, Ava. All of you guys, hopefully y'all can hear me. We are the AFC family, AFC podcast and family, where we advocate for children first, giving them a voice to live. Hashtag see something, say something. Y'all know who she is. That is Keyshawn in the building. And y'all guys need to know that she has been a channel member for 33 months, showing love, holding strong. Keyshawn, you know I cannot thank you enough for doing that. And I appreciate any time that you guys keep your channel memberships, because every bit of that continues to make what I do so much easier. So thank you guys so much. Definitely appreciate that. So Yvonne J, thank you. Tanea, if you're listening, I want to say thank you. And Richard, I think I saw Richard in the chat earlier. I want to thank you for your Cash App. And any other ones that come through, I will make sure and shout you out. I think that's all the ones that came. So if I miss one, I will absolutely make sure and shout you out here between the next story, okay? Let's talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with my absolute disappointment that I have to talk about Ohio yet again. I don't know how many more stories I can do about Ohio. I don't know how many more stories I can do about deplorable houses. I don't know how many more stories I can do about children being caged up in a worse fashion than animals. Let me say that again. In a worse fashion than animals, to a point to where if PETA came in and saw the animals were in a situation like this, they would probably come in and also get these people arrested for treating animals, let alone humans who can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves, our children. With this story, I'm going to be presenting some details that are probably stomach-wise, that are probably going to turn your stomach, so you might not want to be eating when you listen to this story. That is your fair and only warning. You might find my content controversial or offensive. The information is coming from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news websites, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. If you don't like it, you can kiss me where the sun don't shine. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale to cast out these demons that do this type of stuff to children. These are cautionary tales, and we want to make sure that no more children go through this type of stuff. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. So you better have on some thick skin when I get to talking about these, get them on the screen, these hoodbillies right here, right? These hoodbillies, these crack bums, these Methanians out of Ohio, a place called Logan, Ohio. I don't know how far that is from Cuyahoga County, but I would not be surprised if it was very close, because too many of these stories are coming out of Ohio. About 12 hours, and excuse me, I'm getting this information from Dayton, 247now.com, so I need to make sure to shout them out before we get started. After about 12 hours on the something, LAM or IAM, I'm not sure if that's an I or an L, a Hocking County couple was arrested Monday afternoon in the woods less than a mile from their home. Let me say that again. A couple was arrested in the woods. So you have to be wondering, why were they in the woods? Why did they get arrested in the woods? And they were arrested less than a mile from their home on Bear Run Road. Deputies said that they were investigating after a woman said that she was sexually assaulted and robbed by Megan Smith and Franklin T.J. Varney. That is about as country ass as it gets. Megan Smith, I'm assuming, is the woman on the right-hand side. Matter of fact, I think I can actually bring up all of their pictures at one time. Let me see if I can do that so you guys can see their names in respect to whom they are. God, dog, what happened to her face? That looked like somebody took like somebody was like practicing taekwondo on her face. God, dog. Woo! I gotta tell y'all, man, the devil was not too kind when he created her face. That is the face only a foster mother could love. Let me get her off. Let me get Granny off the screen just for a second, because I want to show you guys Megan Smith and Franklin T.J. Varney. And these two idiots are accused of sexually assaulting and robbing a woman. And I want you guys to understand that these are 3 grown individuals. And I'm going to tell you guys this. If you have multiple grown people, 2, 3, 4 grown people living under the household, and y'all are still broke, there's many ways that you can make money in this society, right? You got all types of ways. We like to advocate for legal ways of making money. I'm not going to say, somebody said, here come the banjo music coming. Oh my God, you better stop it. Look at it's like, God dog, every mugshot, they get like ugly and uglier. Like this woman looks like the crypt keeper on the left-hand side. Like she looks like a normal grandma right there on the right-hand side. And then you back it up like a U-Haul truck, and then you look at this picture and like, God dog, like what the hell? That's what she looks like when you wipe that Maybelline off her face. Maybe it's Maybelline, and you wipe that crap off her face, and now she look like, I don't know, like she crawled out of somebody's casket or something. And then the boyfriend in the middle, my goodness, let's focus on that. I don't know what maximum prison that they broke him out of. Like, he looks like he's straight from Prison Break, does he not? Look at this. I have a bigger picture of him. And yes, for those who think I don't go in on white people hard enough, well, I want y'all to look at this. Of course, I want y'all to remember what I always say. Hashtag when you date thugs, you mighty morphin meth rangers, You have won the internet. I gotta show that. I hope it shows up on the screen. I gotta show this on the screen. Somebody in the live chat, let me give a shout out to Denali Ryder. You have absolutely won the internet tonight. Mighty Morphin Meth Rangers. You Mighty Morphin Methamphetamine Rangers. Da, 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 da. Go Meth Rangers. You Mighty Morphin Methamphetamine Rangers. Oh my God. Man, hey, look, that is the best comment probably of the year. Thank you so much. I want y'all to remember that I said this, that I think that people are not in their right mind when they have face tattoos, neck tattoos, and tattoos all over the damn place that aren't doing anything positive with their lives. You got tattoo tears. What does that usually mean with these thugs? Tattoo tears usually mean death, murder, kill. Murder, death, kill. Is that how they say it on Demolition Man? Y'all might have to go back and look at that. Demolition Man, murder, death, kill. That's what these tattoos on the eyes usually represent. For these gangbangers, these thugs, this, I don't know what gang he's claiming. But God, dog. The three Methketeers. Let me stop. Oh my God. I can't even tell the damn story. You guys stop it. Stop it right now. Y'all stop it. Y'all being mean. Anyway, deputies say that Smith and Varney ran away because, based on what I read, because they were going to be investigated for sexually assaulting and robbing a woman. And they ran away, leaving their two babies inside when they came to the home to serve a search warrant at the property. Varney's mother, by the name of Ella Webb, who is 61 years old. No freaking way. No way. When you show these two pictures, that don't even look like the same person. That looks like one of those age progression pictures, does it not? She looks on the left-hand side like she aged another 20 years, and that's probably the same year age, even though she looks a little more thinner and sunken-faced on the left-hand picture. 61? I would have gave her at least 81. 61. It's a hard-ass 61 in the face. But the grandmother, Varney's mother, was arrested after deputies found the two children in her custody in deplorable conditions. If you guys are not familiar with the term deplorable, let me give you some details that are probably going to make you not want to eat the rest of tonight or today. Sheriff Laney North said that he never saw anything like this. The one-year-old baby had a meth pipe and he was walking around with it. So I'm not making this meth stuff up. Even, because see, look, I want y'all to understand, even the white people in my chat understand. Everybody can get these jokes when they hurt children, okay? We don't discriminate. We talk about Mexican, we talk about black, we talk about Asian, we talk about Chinese, we talk about everybody. Native American, Indian, I don't care what country you're from. I don't care what your nationality is. If you hurt, murder, or abuse children, I'm going to say what I got to say, and that's just going to be what it is. Because I don't think these are people. I don't think they're human. If you know them, if you are family members or friends of these people, they are not human. Okay? They had a one-year-old baby, and shout out, Put It in the Air podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe, please. A one-year-old baby walking around with a meth pipe. Do y'all understand what meth is? How it's created? How volatile it is to create this stuff? Maybe they didn't buy it. Maybe they just bought it. Just the residue can kill a child. walking around with mama's meth pipe. Ain't that a bitch? The 3-year-old child, and this is where we're going to get to these pictures. The 3-year-old child was locked into a pack-and-play playpen with zip ties. Would you guys like to show me I could show you a picture. Would you like to see it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Check it out. These nasty some of my bitches put a 3-year-old child that shouldn't be in a fucking playpen to begin with, put the child in a playpen and essentially imprison them. Like where they're going to spend the rest of their lives, hopefully, if Ohio gets their shit together and locks these people up for life like they should be. Because you can't be this level of damn dumb. Let me show you a few more pictures if y'all don't mind. Look at this. Oh my God. I think my screen stinks. I think you can smell that on my screen. Look at this. Do y'all see how they did like this jerry-rigged thing there where the playpen is torn up, but they tried to fix the holes in the playpen where I guess it had been ripped up, and they tried to like sew it back together, sew the prison back together to force a 3-year-old child to stay trapped in that? Do y'all know what that probably smells like? They got big ass pounds of trash bags and all kind of stuff everywhere. And they zip tied it together so the child could not get out. What type of freaking parenting is that? What type of lazy ass human individuals are you that 3 grown ass people couldn't watch after 2 kids? Those kids can't speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. And here's what I want y'all to think about. Let me get that off my screen. They didn't have to have these children in the first damn place. And this is a positive story. So yes, the children are alive. We could be thankful for that. This is at least a positive story. One of very few positive stories. We don't get a lot of positive stories. So this, in a sense, is a story where these children were saved. I want y'all to think about this. The 1-year-old child walking around with a meth pipe could have been dead from drugs, from a drug overdose. The other child, they were probably starving in that playpen. And just luckily enough, there was a woman that they were sexually abusing. So she might not even realize she was a blessing in disguise. Called the police, told the police on them, hey, these people tried to sexually assault me. Then the police came and investigated and found that there were 2 children being treated like this. That's the universe working. I hate to hear that the sexual assault happened, but that woman was grown and she can deal with that. She can move on with her freaking life. Let me point something out. Unless that woman was kidnapped, I don't know how the hell, and I'm going to assume that, let me not go there because they're going to say I'm victim blaming, so never mind. Let me just skip that part. They arrested the grandmother after they found the 2 children in her custody in deplorable conditions. Let's keep going. Chief Deputy Caleb Moritz said that they had to cut the zip ties to free the child from the playpen. They said, we saw a little girl running around with a silver object. Oh, actually, I have a picture of that. Do y'all want to see the meth pipe that this baby was running around with? Just so y'all know, I'm not just making jokes. That's the last meth standing. Oh my goodness, y'all are so wrong. That's the meth pipe right there. We saw the little girl running around with a silver object, and we took it out of her hands. We found a well-used methamphetamine pipe. Inside the playpen, deputies found a 3-year-old boy. The bedclothes were soiled, and we were actually trying to get a sippy cup for him to get him something to drink. It's going to turn your stomach, so bear with me. The kid obviously was hungry. They grabbed a sippy cup because naturally they're thinking, oh, he's probably thirsty or hungry. They opened up the cup. They opened up the sippy cup. And the sippy cup had green, spoiled milk and bugs in it. I hate to repeat myself, but I need to say it again because I need to reiterate that point. The reason why I need to reiterate that point, that it had green spoiled milk in it and bugs. So how long do you think that fucking cup was sitting there? How long do you think that stuff was sitting there? How long do you think those kids were going without proper food or drink? Proper sustenance? How long does it take? Maybe somebody can tell me. How long does it take for milk to spoil, number one? Even furthermore, how long does it take for milk to turn green? I'm sure we've all had milk in our refrigerator that's spoiled in a few weeks and we're just like, oh, okay, well, it smells bad. I'm going to just go ahead and toss it out. Maybe you left it in there 3 weeks, maybe a month at the most. I mean, I hope not, but maybe you've let milk spoil. But how long do you have to let milk spoil before it turns green? That sounds like months. Let's keep going. Deputies say that T.J. Varney has a long, lengthy criminal record of gun violence and a previous warrant for domestic violence. Can we get a hashtag when you date thugs, you date death? Live by the thug, die by the thug. Stupid is as stupid thugs. Huh? The sheriff said that Smith was wanted for failure to appear in court in the Athens County for possession of heroin and tampering with evidence. Being locked up isn't justice enough for them, Sheriff North said. The grandmother was entrusted with custody of the children because Mr. Varney couldn't take care of himself. They all proved in that house last night that nobody is able to take care of those children the way they should be taken care of, Moritz said. The kids are true victims of the true victims out of this. The children are now in foster care, which is an overrun system to begin with, especially in Ohio. I'm ad-libbing that part. But y'all know how many times have I spoken on Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, and Ohio in general. That system can't take any more kids. They're already overworked, underpaid, understaffed, and they can't do their jobs properly. Additional charges against Smith and Varney are expected when the case goes before a grand jury. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I feel like I've said enough. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys would, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. What it does is help share this video and let more people know that we're live. It's a very simple thing to do. And just be thankful that these kids actually survived this, because most kids don't. Here we go. Let's get it.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight at 5, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. Tonight we begin with a disturbing case involving a child found locked inside of a homemade cage and a toddler carrying around a meth pipe.
Now, those are just some of the allegations against a Hocking County couple. That couple tonight is in custody along with the children's grandmother. And these are just a sample of the conditions deputies say those children were living in. 10 TV's Lacey Crisp was there as the couple was arrested.
Sheriff's deputies say they found the kids in deplorable conditions with.
Oh, I need to pause it real quick. I didn't realize that. I want you guys to look at the number of people who are watching. That's the number that we want to have, and that's our goal. I'm only asking if you guys could please click the thumbs up. It's a simple thing to do, and it doesn't cost anything. If you guys could please just help us by clicking the thumbs up, it brings more attention to the video, whether you know it or not. Simple thing to do. Just close the chat for a moment and please click the thumbs up. Easy thing to do. We want to have one thumb up for everybody watching. If y'all could please help us do that. Thank you.
Rotten food and rotten milk and bugs all over. But the good news is after 12 hours on the run, the couple is now in custody.
Handcuffed? Megan, how could you leave the kids like that? Megan Smith and Franklin TJ Varney are now in custody.
There's probably no justice that's bad enough for them to have to go through. Being locked up isn't justice enough for them.
The Hocking County Sheriff explains his deputies were serving a search warrant on the 32-acre property for a sex assault investigation involving a woman, Smith, and Varney. When they arrived, the couple snuck out the back door and sheriff's deputies found a 3-year-old locked inside this pack and play.
The top of the cage was actually zip tied on to where the tactical team had to cut the zip ties to be able to free the child from the pack and play. The bedclothes were soiled.
Once they freed the boy, sheriff's deputies were disgusted at what they found.
We were actually trying to get what we thought was his sippy cup out for him, and it had green spoiled milk inside of it. There were bugs that I care not to even guess what they were inside the pack and play itself as well.
They also found a 1-year-old girl wandering around carrying a meth pipe. Varney's mother, Ella Webb, has legal custody of the children. She was at home at the time and told investigators she locked the boy up so she could shower.
She tried to give us excuses of why that took place.
Let me back that up real quick. Granny actually gave the excuse and said that the reason that they zip tied a 3-year-old child in a playpen, in a pack and play, was so she could go shower. Where was she about to go shower? Where was she about to go take a bath? In the lake of Minnetonka or something? For all my Purple Rain fans out there. To zip tie it shut? That means that kid was probably in there for hours and hours and hours. How long did Granny need to go wash that dusty cat of hers? Shit, the town would probably run out of water by the time that she finished taking a damn shower in order to clip the zip ties and take that thing off of that child, caging that child up like that. Look, y'all know that's a stupid ass excuse. But nonetheless, let's keep going. Take a shower. Yeah, right.
There were bugs that I care not to even guess what they were inside the pack and play itself as well.
They also found a 1-year-old girl wandering around carrying a meth pipe. Varney's mother, Ella Webb, has legal custody of the children. She was at home at the time and told investigators she locked the boy up so she could shower.
She tried to give us excuses of why that took place.
All 3 have been taken into custody. The kids were checked out and are said to be doing fine. They have been taken into protective custody.
Have you guys ever seen a situation like this?
Not that bad.
The couple were facing a slew of charges before today. The sheriff tells me they'll be facing additional charges. In Logan, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Can you tell us why you did this to your toddlers?
I didn't do nothing to them.
Can you tell us why you did this to your toddlers?
I didn't do nothing to them.
Can you tell us why you did this to your toddlers?
I didn't do nothing to them.
Why does that man have 1,000 holes in his shirt? Like, he looks like he's had their shirt since the day he was born. You can't be rough enough, work enough, use a shirt enough, wash it enough, have a shirt that long that you got that many holes. Do y'all see how many holes is in that shirt? There is no level of, man.
Can you tell us why you did this to your toddlers?
I didn't do nothing to them.
There's stuff I want to say. I just am going to refrain from saying.
Horrific story developing in Hocking County. Deputies investigating one crime find one child in a cage, another walking around with a meth pipe. And now there's a manhunt on for their parents. Investigators say they went to a home on Bear Run Road with a search warrant in a sexual assault investigation. Take a look at this. It's a picture of where deputies found that 3-year-old. It's a pack and play with a gate on top connected by zip ties to keep the child from getting out. They say it was filled with bugs, had soiled bedding, and a cup of spoiled milk nearby. They also saw that 2-year-old walking around holding a meth pipe. The children were checked out by a doctor. They're now in foster care. Their grandmother, Ella Webb, had legal custody of those children. Deputies arrested her for endangering children. She appeared in court this morning and pleaded not guilty. A judge set her bail at $200,000. Deputies are now looking for the kids' parents, Franklin T.J. Varney and Megan Smith. They face endangerment charges as well. Chief Deputy Caleb Moritz says if they don't turn themselves in, the county will search for them nationwide until they're in custody.
Let me give you guys my closing thoughts with this story. I just think with situations like this, I know that life in prison is one of the harshest penalties that we can employ. But what they did is just, it's not correct human thought. It's not loving. It's not a forgivable thing. And I just really don't see any reason that they should be in our society, because I don't think the prison is going to change them. I think that they're just going to be more irresponsible. But if they could get a life sentence, cool. But as many years in prison as they can get, they absolutely deserve it. And we just got to pray for the kids that, I guess, the system is going to raise these kids if we don't have a proper foster family that will step in and raise those children. Because these people were obviously not the correct choice. But thank you guys so much for listening to the story. It at least ended on a positive note. So the blessing in disguise is the woman that called the police because she was sexually assaulted. I got to kind of parse my words. I don't want to get in any trouble on YouTube. That's kind of the blessing in disguise, because if it hadn't been for that situation, the police never would have found these kids at all. So at least these children will survive, and maybe they'll get an opportunity to grow up and become something greater than what they would have been under their care. Okay? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are about this story, okay? Thank you.